This is the Porsche Taycan Turbo GT with Weissach Pack. Honestly, it takes longer for me to say that name than the car takes to reach from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. Take a look. So the car also comes with better brakes, it's got forged wheels, and these are shod with the Pirelli Trofeo RS tires, whereas the Turbo is going to get the Pirelli P0R. What's the difference between these two tires? Well, a better person to tell you that than me would be the guy from Pirelli himself.
The P0R, so let's say, is the product definition is mainly defined on the target that the customer gives to us. So for the P0, it was a normal tire that already bring a lot of performance inside. But with the Taycan Turbo GT, it was really a peculiar car. So we need something to make something more, something different. And so for this reason, we took our two new products that are really designed for the sporty application. That is the P0R and our Trofeo RS. As you can see also in the third pattern generation, the P0R is different than a P0, because if you have in your head the P0, that is normally 4 channels. Instead of this P0R, there is just 3. So you are saying that you are already going in the direction of sporty. And it is needed for these kind of cars, the new Taycan Turbo GT, because we need to bring at the end on the street this tremendous power that the car has.
Right. And how would you compare the P0R to the Trofeo RS?
This is already still another step. This is still another step above, because as you can see here is the same slick tire. So you can see here there is less sipes, less grooves and so on. This is really designed for track tires. It's the same slick, but still street legal. So we always sell our tire normally on the market. It's already street legal, but is more developed for the test track in order to enhance the experience on the track on the track days.
So what you get is this massive wing at the rear with the Weissach written on it. What you don't get is seats in the rear. You get a massive carbon fiber trunk for storing away some stuff. Instead, you get a carbon fiber B-pillar as well. And then you'll see more wings down here in the bumper. But to show you what it really does, I can't do it here. I can't do it on the track. We'll have to go into a wind tunnel. So essentially the winglets at the front are going to give you 80 kilos of downforce, while the massive ring at the rear is going to give you 140 kg of downforce. That's 220 kilos of downforce. And compared to the Turbo, there's also a lot of weight savings. It's about 75 kilos lighter. That's about 2.2 tons, which means it shouldn't be too heavy to lift. Let's give that a try. Yeah. What that also shows you is that it's got a completely flat underside. There are of course vents in between that will help you cool down the brakes, that will give better downforce, that will give it better aerodynamic efficiency and all of that. And what that essentially translates to is faster corner speeds and efficient braking performance. Oh, and before I go, just take a look at the comparison between the specs of the Turbo and the GT4. I'll get ready till then. So this is the launch control mechanism. Sport Plus, on the brakes, on the throttle. And that's 150 already. 150 already. Whoa. 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 I mean, does the world need a Taycan Turbo GT Weissach Pack? Maybe not. Does Porsche need it? They definitely do. This is basically a halo model. A halo model to show what Porsche can do, the kind of prowess that they have on electric technology already. I mean, this is still the first generation of an electric vehicle from Porsche, right? Yes, it's the facelift. Yes, they have thrown the kitchen sink at it in terms of the enhancements that they have. But I mean, right from day one, the Taycan has just showed us what it is, right? If the electric sports car becomes the future, the Taycan very well showed us that it was in safe hands. Of course, there is the e-fuel technology, which I am betting big on, which Porsche is betting big on, which all enthusiasts around the globe are betting big on, because we really want our engines to live, and that e-fuel promises that. But until that happens, or if the legislations around the world, the governments around the world are still gung-ho about electrics and that being the future of the automobile, then the cars like the GT and the one with the Weissach Pack that I'm driving right now, that just shows where sports cars are headed. And that's attack mode. Compared to the turbo, this one will give you 120 kilowatts of power for 10 seconds. That's quick. And there'll be that sonic sound as well to tell you are going really fast. That's the only oral drama that you get here. I was doing over 220 kilometers while talking to you. That's how effortless it feels in this car. The amount of grip that this thing has is unbelievable. I mean, this is still a 2-ton car, right? They've saved about 75 kilos compared to the Turbo S, and that's with a lighter windshield, lighter carbon fiber seats, no seats at the back, just a carbon fiber trunk for you to just store a little bit of stuff. And that saved them about 75 kilos, but this is still over 2.2 tons, and honestly it just doesn't feel like that. The Taycan base did feel like that, the Taycan Turbo not so much, but the GT, oh my god, this just feels like a proper sports car. And the way it goes around, yes, it is still fun. Yes, it's definitely a lot of fun. Not the same kind of fun as a 911. I know I keep repeating that every time I'm reviewing a Taycan, but honestly, yeah, there is a lot of connect. There is a lot of connect with the GT. Not so much when I drove the Taycan 4S, but with this, there's that boost mode again. It's like pressing spacebar for NOS in your favorite racing game from the 90s. Reminds me of Need for Speed. Wow. The only thing I'm missing right now is a proper gearbox, because you see these paddle shifters are not for shifting gears, of course. Yes, this is still a 2-step transmission, same as the Taycan Turbo, but with quite a few revisions. In fact, the second gear has been tuned for higher top speed, which is why you get over 300 kilometers per hour on the GT, whereas the Turbo is still restricted to under 250 kilometers an hour. Now for that boost mode, what they've done is use the plus side of the paddle shifters to let you have that boost. Yes, you can still do it using this little switch on the steering, but then when you are on attack pace, when you're in that attack mode, as they rightly call this particular boost mode in the GT4, you want it to be easier to use, which is exactly why they have put it on the paddle shifter instead. So will they build something on top of the GT? You never know. It's Porsche. They love to push their limits. They love to push their engineering team to deliver something more powerful, something faster, something that goes even faster around the racetrack. Now, just to give you an example, the GT in some sections of the Nürburgring was 25 kilometers an hour faster than the Turbo. That's a lot. That's like light years in racing terms. So nothing is going to stop them from pushing the GT even further. Maybe an RS variant, you never know. Just because, you know, just because they want to show their prowess with electrics, they might just do it. You never know, because Porsche loves lap records. Porsche loves going faster. That need for speed, even in the electric era, is still very much there. And it's not just for Porsche, it's also for people who buy Porsches, which is precisely why cars like the Taycan GT exist. Which is why I won't be surprised to see even faster versions of the Taycan come in. whether or not e-fuel becomes a reality, whether or not e-fuel pushes the limits further. Wow, one hell of a ride. One hell of a ride.